Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we will be looking at another LEGO Technic mock of mine, based off of the LEGO Technic Set 42097, the Compact Crawler Crane. Today, as you can guess, is the Star Wars Arc-170 Starfighter. So take a look with me as we go behind the build. Right now it is in its landing position, so some things will change when it's in flight. I'm just kind of want to show you some of the details, so kind of get the little bit swooped in nose. The engines, which are actually angled, the vents I guess are angled just like how they are in the real thing. Bigger in the front and smaller in the back. Just like you guys might want to see all that. And then also there's a torpedo, or I guess bomb. Torpedoes are for water, but a bomb or a missile underneath. These large cannons. Let me just fix that really quick. Okay, I also have a pilot seat. You can actually rotate this up. It's just a pretty simple mechanism. There's a gear right here that's on the same axle as this bar. And then this gear right here is off on a 90-degree difference, and there's a friction pin on that. So there's the seat, there's the control panel, or control stick, sorry, and as you move the control stick, it will actually control a function. Something that I really wanted when I was designing this is to make this have a lot of functionality to it. It's a very memorable and very iconic ship from the Star Wars series during the Clone Wars. So something that I was really trying to get was the main function, but I also decided to add some other ones that either we haven't seen on the screen or that I haven't read about or heard about. You know. So did take some liberties with that. Here's the co-pilot seat, the second seat, also with the control stick, which is a little bit harder to get into, but more or less is there. My quote-unquote droid head is right there. It's pretty straightforward. You just rotate this back, and then you can take that out. Only 5 pieces. I'll just set it off to the side. Just kind of as a placeholder, but you can see how that print works. Okay. Rotating the back. I mean, this is very sturdy. This is very strong. I'm not worried about this breaking right just by grabbing it. The gun, you can actually rotate side to side. And then here is the gunner seat, as well as the control stick. And if you were to grab that, you can tell that it actually moves. I even made little areas for you here to watch. Ignored the finger, whatever, right? So there's a 20-tooth gear, that's the tan one, and right behind it is the black gear, which is on the same shaft as the control stick. And essentially all you're doing is just redirecting and just gearing down the movement, so pretty straightforward, and you can fold the panel out on the other side. I really like being able to see the functions. That's one of the biggest things I've always liked about Legos, are all the functions. Alright, as far as other functions go, let me just put this on the stand. Okay, we're going to lift this up. So this gear, like I showed earlier, is for that. Then this gear does something different. Flipping it to the underside, I don't know if I can get this all in frame. If I turn it, you can tell it does that. Pushes out the missile, or the bomb. And again, it's pretty straightforward. This black piece is just inside of a shell, so it can't move or whatever except for in that direction. And so that's really all it's doing, is just pushing it in. That brown axle is pushing on this black axle, which is where the missile goes, the bomb. So here it is, pretty straightforward. Again, I'll take that off. And speaking of taking it off, if you want, you can actually remove it. Sorry, you have to fold this up and then size down. And that's pretty much what it is. And yes, that is part of the actuator piece. Is what I use there. And, and then you can kind of see some of the other functions for the main mechanism. As far as other functions go, you can see that there's a 20-tooth gear. That is on a worm gear. And, the 20-tooth gear is on that axle, which controls this rear landing gear, and is controlled by this, while that front landing gear hits that black gear again at a 90-degree offset, goes through the shaft, hits this gear, and then just behind that you can see that there's another gear. It's a one with the friction pins, so that's what actually slows it down, makes things tight and not loose. And then yeah, the motion just gets redirected into these assemblies, which are mirrored. Alright, well, enough talk, let me just show you what it does. So we'll start off with the rear landing gear. Again, you're just going to grab the control stick right here, and you can tell, because it's a worm gear, you need to turn it quite a bit. But there you go. Alright, and then actually on the front as well, sure you can see all the gears. So pretty much you just turn this, turns that, goes through the shaft, and you can even do it manually if you want. But essentially, I just kind of just rub my thumb on that, but there you go. So you kind of get like the mean looking front. Alright, and then if you turn the control stick in the front, and again you can do it with the canopy on or up or down, but if you do it in the front, so yeah, there you go, and you can actually raise it up all the way if you would like. It has an interesting look, I think, personally, but obviously we'd like to go iconic here, so there you go, and it's pretty straightforward. How I built those wings was actually very challenging. Something that I've never seen Lego do, but I've always wanted Lego to do, and I personally have always wanted to do in my own builds. To briefly show you, let me just put down the landing gear again, it'll be a lot easier. Whatever, I'll just set it down, doesn't matter. Okay. Alright. So looking back here, I don't know if it's clear, but there is a pin right here, but not right there. Same thing with on this. It actually goes so the black gear piece is only 3 modules wide, so it only goes in most of the way, but there's that second one that's out, and it's on both sides. And what I did is when I slid these black gears onto this long axle, I'd actually put a pin right in here on both of these, and I'd put a bar going across from one side to the other, and that kept them so where they were straight, so they weren't wobbling around or rotating. Alright, then once I had connected all of the gears and stuff like that from underneath, and they were all being held in by the friction, the wings were all there, and they're all clamped up, there you go, they're all kind of clamped up, more or less, on the bars. Then I was able to remove those struts and then kind of build the top half of everything. Yeah, so pretty straightforward. One of my favorite functions for sure that I've done. Yeah, I knew it would be a challenge, but I didn't know it would be this challenging. It did take a long time to design and to perfect, but it was definitely worth it. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.